Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest weather-wise. Today is February 17th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery here. You can see BC, Washington, Oregon, Hawaiian Islands out here. Check out this Kona low that plagued the islands the last few days out there, bringing some heavy rain across the area, and you can see that low pressure center now caught up in the low-level easterlies moving off to the west there. Nice representation on the infrared satellite imagery there. Now we're watching this energy back across here as this ridge starts to back up and allows that energy to come down across Pacific Northwest on in through early and mid next week. We'll check out the details on that and take a first look at what kind of snow we can expect across Pacific Northwest here. Now taking a look here, North Pole, Russia, Alaska, Washington. There's the Hawaiian Islands here. There goes our ridge over the Gulf of Alaska and Pacific Ocean as we speak. A couple systems move down the back side of that here, but then we really retrograde this thing and we get the big carving of the trough here across the west coast of North America here, bringing in some much colder air here across the region as we go on in through mid next week. Now, taking a look at 18,000 feet, 500 millibars. This is last night, 060 run, which is 10 p.m. This is the control run. It's a little bit lower resolution here. And if we put this into motion, it's a low resolution versus the deterministic run, I should say. But you can see this polar lobe clearly take a shot here at us across the Pacific Northwest, but it's got a little bit of an offshore trajectory. So it's going to be a little bit moisture starved here. So it's going to be tough to bring any kind of significant snowfall across Southwest BC, Western Washington, Oregon here as we go through this event. But those are kind of famous last words here across the Pacific Northwest. We'll continue to watch this system as we go day by day as we get closer to it. Now taking a look at last night's European run yesterday afternoon. You can see those systems traversing the area, bringing some mountain snows as we go on through Saturday, Sunday. Stronger system starts to arrive here. Pretty good snowmaker as we go on in through Sunday into Monday here. And the next system starts to arrive as we go on into Monday night, continuing the snowfall here across British Columbia, Washington Cascades, eventually moving down across the Oregon Cascades, the Rocky Mountains of Idaho, Montana as well. And now we've gotten this troughing here as this Arctic air starts to sag south across British Columbia here. And we're going to have a transition, it looks like, some point at Tuesday night on and through Wednesday morning where we could turn things snowy here across some of the Willamette Valley in western Washington, eastern Oregon, Washington, down to the lower elevations as well. So we're going to have to watch that time period there. It doesn't take a lot of precipitation to do a disruptive snowfall here, as you guys know, across places west of the Cascades. And we're going to turn the winds kind of offshore here and kick the system down and turn cold and cool on in through the extended here and maybe bring some more flirtations with some snowfall as we go on in through later February here. But more on that as we get closer to those events there. Now this is total snow Kuchera ratio here. Yesterday afternoon's European run here. You can see the big snowfalls piling up across the Cascades as we move on in through Monday here, eventually down through the Oregon Cascades as well. Now watch as we go into Wednesday morning. You can see the potential for some snowfall across the Puget Sound, some flakes flying across the Willamette Valley as well. And, you know, Spokane's not looking too bad with this event also. Potentially some big snows across eastern Washington here in the normally rain-shadowed areas, across areas like Moses Lake maybe even as well. So you can see big totals across the Cascades, of course, but there is that potential for some snowfall across the Puget Sound, even the Willamette Valley here as we go on in through next week. We'll try to pinpoint those details as we get closer. It's just kind of a first look at things here. Don't get your heart set on seeing this amount of snowfall by the time we get towards the event. We're just kind of playing it day by day. Big snows for the Blue Mountains coming in there as well. Rocky Mountains also. Now watch this, is 6 hour 2 meter temperature in Celsius. The white versus the purple is where the line goes to freezing here, and you can kind of see some overnight lows potentially below freezing, mainly in the Willamette Valley, a little bit warmer than the Puget Sound here over the next couple of days. But then you'll see that colder air start to arrive here as we go on into Tuesday night and Wednesday and kind of overtake the area. Might be hard to get above freezing here west of the Cascades on the day. Thursday, Friday, maybe just barely above freezing if we're lucky there. And then you can see some of that colder air battling as we go into the weekend and some other systems try to move in here. But more on that in future videos. Now taking a look here, this is the GFS 500 millibars. This is hot off the presses here. Let's compare it to the European. I've been spending a lot of time showing the European. Let's look at the GFS. So you see that ridge back up here and that polar lobe takes its shot at us, but you see kind of it reach out across the Rockies here. That's not good for picking up moisture here and bringing a big significant snowfall to southwest BC, western Washington, western Oregon here, but it could still do the trick here depending on how things line up. So we're just gonna have to watch this day by day, but it doesn't look like a huge snowfall occurring west of the Cascades as of right now. Now looking at this 2 meter temperature anomaly. Let's see how cold we're gonna get here. Let's speed through. We're into Monday now. Tuesday night, You can see that cold air really taking up residents here across British Columbia. Very cold temperatures incoming here, and you can see it kind of sag south across the area here. By the time you get to Friday morning, things are going to be pretty darn chilly here across Pacific Northwest. Many areas 20 or 30 degrees below average here as we go on in through the day Friday. More on that as we get closer to this event also. But this is Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. This is the total snow plume here. You can see the blue is the control, the green is the mean here. Generally kind of a green on about an inch of snowfall. You can see some of the ensembles have higher amounts there as well. But we'll watch this as we get closer. We're going to have a much better idea as we go through the weekend here on what's coming next week as well. This is kind of just a first look at things here. Look at Portland. You could get a little snowfall out of this as well. But again, just, the initial look at actual snowfall amounts here. Vancouver, not a great signal here, but again, we'll watch this play out. Spokane looks like, it might have a better shot than versus Seattle, Portland, or Vancouver, BC here coming up. It's definitely going to be colder over there as well. This is Boise out there. Check it out. Maybe up towards 2 inches of snowfall. It'll be much drier, fluffier snow out there also. But now looking at accumulated max 10-meter wind gusts. I'll show you there are some winds coming here too. So as we go on in through early next week, you can see some pretty good gusts here, including a nice westerly surge down the strait that occurs on the day, Monday, on into Monday night here, and some gusty winds through the Puget Sound possible across the Cascades. Big winds incoming here as well. So just a heads up, it's going to be stormy and windy here at times also here, and we're also going to get some strong offshore winds coming up here, and I'll show you that here on this slide. This is 100-meter wind speed. Yesterday afternoon's European run here. Put this into motion here. We're going into Sunday now. Here we go, Monday. And you can see these gusty winds coming up through the day, Monday into Monday night. Strong westerly surge all the way down through Whidbey Island here as we go on into early Tuesday morning there. And then watch what happens as that Arctic air starts to really just kind of flow out through the Fraser River Gap here across the San Juans, portions of North Whidbey Island there, Bellingham up there, and the northerlies start to push down the Puget Sound here. Some strong northeasterlies across eastern Washington as well. Might get some blowing snow out there as you go on in through the day Wednesday as well. So again, we're going to fine tune these details as we get closer to this event. Now taking a look at the risk of hazardous temperatures here, you can see it does include western Washington, Oregon here, all the way down into northern California there where the moderate line goes. This is risk of heavy precipitation. We could get some on in through early March. We'll pick those details up as we go day by day. However, risk of heavy snow cascades included all the way down through the Sierra Nevada there. Risk of high winds, pretty much the entire Pacific Northwest included there on in through early March. Now look at this 8 to 14 day temperature outlook there. Very likely below average across the entire west coast of North America here. This goes on in through March 2nd there. So yeah, we're just kind of taking a first look at what's potentially coming up here. It does have that same trajectory, a little bit too offshore here for a big snowfall, but you know how it goes here. There's always a surprise when Arctic air arrives into the Pacific Northwest. So we'll just continue to watch this day by day. We'll update and we'll try to be prepared for what's coming here. So yeah, click like, subscribe, tell your friends. Let's get the word out. Channel's doing good. The positive feedback coming on the comments is always good to see. I know I can't reply to all of them here, but anyway, keep leaving them and I keep reading them. I do read them all. So yeah, so let's just keep it up. But anyway, we'll do this again tomorrow and we will break down things again and I will talk to you guys then.